Yo, it's a Friday morning. We're live, large and in charge on your Feel Good Breakfast show, and it's so good to have you with us. You're just in time right now to tap into a very interesting conversation in our daily tech talk with our tech expert, Janse van der Rensburg. Very good morning to you, sir.
Same to you.
Excellent, excellent. We're talking about much debated, centuries debated.
Oh, goodness me, if only you could hear the discussions that just took place right now, but we'll spare you for that right now. But engineers at the Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT, in New York have designed a brand new way to measure your heart. And that is, what is it, sitting on the toilet?
Right. So
What is going on here?
So essentially, it's a smart toilet seat, and they want to use it to measure. And it's not connected to your phone. Don't worry. So it's to measure your heart, essentially. So your heart rate, your blood pressure, to give you early signs of cardiovascular issues.
Your blood pressure as well.
Yes, your blood pressure as well. So kind of like how your smartwatch can measure your blood pressure, it'll work in the same way. And the idea behind this is to give you forewarning when there might be some kind of issue. So the idea is to especially use this with people that have had issues in the past, to give them just kind of, to have the data to monitor regularly, and to give some warning if there might be some potential issues coming again. It could cost a lot of money to go to hospital, so this can spare you some big costs.
Well, one might contest that your blood pressure and thus your heart rate might be increased while you're playing the Game of Thrones.
Right now.
While you're playing Game of Thrones, you know what I mean? So like,
or simply by just doing your thing.
I'm sure the algorithm takes all that into account.
Well, I hope so, but that's very interesting. So we might actually see this as a standard across the board one day, where our toilets are just feeling our pulses while we are...
Well, maybe not standard, but especially for like the elderly and for people that live on their own, it might be very useful.
Not something you would go buy in your local hardware store for sure.
Not
Probably
necessarily.
not.
Okay. But what I was saying about the discussion we've been having for centuries now, the flat Earth theory. So what are flat earthers saying? That the movement seems to have grown a bit more dramatically and grown in popularity over recent months. What's happening right now?
Well, you know how powerful social media is, and there has been this conspiracy theory for forever that the Earth is flat, and there are some prominent people on YouTube that believe this, and they propagate this theory through various means. But essentially, what the study found is that the way that Google's algorithm works on YouTube, and similarly on something like Facebook, is that obviously they try to keep you on the platform as much as possible, and that's how they make their money. So the algorithm just basically feeds more of this type of conspiracy theory videos into each other, so that people end up watching more and more of that content. And that's why more people in the last 2 years have started to believe this theory. And Google said, look, they're going to have to clamp down on this somehow. It's the whole fake news thing as well. It's very similar. It's a tough time to surf the internet if you don't know what's going on.
It's potting.
Yeah.
So does anybody have a coin here in the studio? Anybody? Coin, quickly maybe? I just want to maybe like add my 5 rand.
Your 2 cents.
My
basically.
5 rand to this conversation. So I'm not saying the Earth is flat, but if it were flat and were spinning at such a terminal velocity that you couldn't actually through the naked eye see, or even through a naked telescope, maybe this is what we're seeing. Maybe the Earth is flat. Wait, let me do that again for dramatic effect on the camera. Here you go. Close-up shot. 1, 2, 3. The Earth might actually be flat.
You see?
Okay,
I'm just going to leave it there and allow you to just simmer and stew in that thought and decide for yourself. Is the Earth really flat or not?
That is the question. That is the question that everyone is asking.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? But then again, if you were able to balance this coin, just stand it down like that. You see?
Yes. Yeah.
If the Earth were round, that should start rolling. You see? But it's not. It will just stay there.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, well, that's the roundup on some of the biggest tech stories. Tienes, thank you very much for joining us this morning, man. Awesome stuff. It's your Friday.